be clear about what is essential. We want you to assume that everything that's not on that list is not essential. And that if you are a business and you make something, or you happen to be a business of any sort, that we didn't ask to be closed down, you got to have 100% work from home policies in place, and we expect people to stay home. And I would just say one more wrinkle on this is earlier last week we said if you're traveling around the state between 8 p.m. and 5 a.m. and you're non-essential, we want you off the roads. We're basically saying that's now 24 hours. We don't want you out there. Period.
What is this garbage you're watching?
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
This is all gone. What little liberty we have left, what little freedom we have left, what little bit of our rights we're allowed to still exercise is all going to be gone.
Florida has set up highway checkpoints to screen motorists as they enter the state. Governor Ron DeSantis ordered the creation of the checkpoints to try to cut down on the spread of the coronavirus in Florida.
And the mayor says no, the military has not been called up here in Southern California. Yesterday, our Stu Mandel in Sky 2 spotted this train and diamond bar, miles long, carrying tanks.
You think I'm full of shit, right? 6 weeks ago, you told me a pastor would have got arrested for having mass, or that a female in Florida would have got arrested for taking a walk in her own community.
It is kind of an alarming sight during this time, but Naval Base of Ventura County says troop and equipment movements are normal in our area, and they are not related to COVID-19. Mayor Garcetti says he will tell people if the National Guard or the Army has been requested.
It's the Corps of Engineers, and again, I want to reiterate, we're obviously a DoD capability, but we are working under FEMA mission assignments. And I'm certainly not going to go through this, but this talks about how many different stadiums, how many different COVID beds we're going to have. And I'm going to kind of walk you through those numbers today. But anytime you want to see, this will change every 24 hours, and we will continue to be able to give you assessments on what we're doing.
Motorists crossing into Florida from Georgia or Alabama are being directed to the nearest checkpoints, which are set up at way stations and staffed by Florida Highway Patrol troopers. There, travelers will be asked about their trip. Local outlets report many drivers are being allowed to immediately get back on the highway. But if they report coming from an area with a large number of confirmed coronavirus cases, including New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Louisiana, then they'll be ordered to self-isolate for 14 days or for the entire duration of their visit, if that's shorter. All travelers from those areas are also required to fill out forms with their contact information.
Or how about GPS ankle monitors being placed on people in Kentucky for breaking quarantine? Or somebody in California being arrested for wakeboarding? All that shit's happened in the last week. Look what's happening, people. You should be pissed about it. But we can all stand around, we can all say, well, I can't do nothing. We can do something, even if it's just me.
Appreciate that, but our ability to have a lot of authority and the ability to go down and work with the local mayors and governors allows us to really get this job done. And then again, the nice thing is our ability to completely decentralize this down to the colonel on the ground to be able to execute following the overall intent and the specifications.
American citizens have. The FEMA plans to imprison American citizens have generated a lot of interest around the country in locating the potential prison camps throughout the country. These may be facilities currently being used as prisons, such as those you saw earlier, or prisons that are being built supposedly in the name of the war on drugs, or facilities that have other uses but which could be quickly used to detain large numbers of people, such as this Amtrak facility in Beach Grove.
Upper right, you'll actually see our plan, and we have a lot more details. You can click in and expand it, but you'll see where all the individual bed pods are, normally 10 or 15 beds surrounding a nurse's station. Then you'll see a nurse's station. Then you'll see things like shower rooms, extra bathrooms, crash carts if they're needed. And then on every one of these facilities, there's normally an entry side where patients are...
We're standing now in the main parking lot, which doesn't look too sinister. At this level, it is a very large parking lot, fenced on all sides by fence topped by barbed wire. It also has these electronically operated turnstiles.
So ambulances come in, they get processed into the facility, then they go into where that actual the patient area is. There's another one on the other side, which was mainly where staff. So think of it as kind of a where people that are not affected can come in and be able to help support.
The last 5 generations of men dropped the ball in this country. They got comfortable and lazy and said, "Oh, okay, you know what? You want that little bit of liberty? Take it. It's all right. We don't have to exercise it. You know what? That doesn't affect me. I harp on felons and guns because that's where that shit started with the gun stuff, with felons. Violent felons in 34 in the NFA. That's where it started. And we allowed them to do that. You know why? Because it wasn't me. It wasn't me that it was affecting. Then in 68, it was all felons. It wasn't just violent felons no more, it was all felons. Between 68 and now, it's everybody but your mom. Literally. You got a DUI, guess what? Some states you can't own a gun. But the federal government doesn't have the authority, Congress don't even have the authority to enact a national sweeping law that affects me, the individual, or my rights.
The governor asked us to do this. We laid the design out. The governor then made the decision, and then we went to FEMA.
Standard design was basically vetted through FEMA. We are working for FEMA. And this is one where the city of Detroit went above and beyond by saying, we really want to have oxygen into that area right there with all those patient areas. Some of the other facilities, oxygen comes in a tank and it's wheeled in, and it's more of a portable oxygen. Here, the city asked us to design a manifold system where basically we're bringing all these hard pipes in the ceiling, and we're dropping oxygen down into every one of these particular pods. So if that patient actually needs oxygen, there is certified oxygen to code right there.
Outside, there are new gas pipes. The gas lines and gas pipes at the facility run the length of the buildings. And come out at some very, very large, brand new furnaces that have been installed at the buildings throughout the facility.
This is a three-legged stool, and I use the analogy of the 3 S's. We need sites to be able to build these facilities. That's what the Corps of Engineers is working with the local officials. We need the supplies. That's another critical area, and you're tracking this, but that is mainly going to be done by the local cities, the states, and HHS and FEMA. And then we need the staff. Same thing. So today, if you ask me a lot of questions about supplies and staff, I would defer back to other agencies.
You know what? These motherfuckers come to my door, I'm going to do something. I don't want to do anything. I don't want any problems. I want to live my life in peace and be left alone. I will never harm anybody in my life if I'm left alone. We're letting it go, guys. It's us. I know, like I said, the last 5 generations of men sat on their ass, they did nothing, and then let them take bit by bit by bit by bit by bit. It's on us now. If this gets past us, it's over. My 9-year-old will not have individual rights when he's my age. And it's right now. If we wait for a year from now, everybody will done forgot. We'll done be in the socialist swing of things. We're losing the greatest country that's ever even thought about, that ever came to fruition out of men's minds. And we're just letting it go. Why? Because we fear our government? Because the unconstitutional police forces, sorry about that, guys, have still fearing us and going to jail. I ain't afraid to go to jail. Fuck you, ain't in a jail cell. But I won't go to jail. I'm not built to be in a cage. I'm built to be free. And I will remain free. Like I said, I don't want no problems. I got kids. My kids want to, I want to see my kids grow up, have families. I've already had one son pass away because of my government. Anybody can say what they want. Gun control will kill my kid. Gun control. But we stay on the path that we're on today. They're going to say that none of you all have the right to carry a gun. Then what are you going to do? What are you going to do when they're knocking on your door? You're all stuck in your house right now, obeying this stupid ass orders. All they got to do is come to your house. They know where you're at. They know where I'm at. They come where I'm at, they're going to get exactly what they want, though. I won't do quietly. I don't suggest you all do either. At what point do we say that that's enough? I've had enough. I've had enough. I will kiss my kids, my wife, and walk away. And not think twice about it. For the greater good of my kids. Because I know if I don't, they're not going to have a life. They're not going to have rights. They're not going to have liberty. They're not going to have a fucking job. Because government decided who's allowed to eat this week and who's not. Small government, lots of liberty. Small government, lots of liberty. And that spirit's been lost in this country. It's been lost by everybody. You know, my parents, I wish I could be my parents. Just get on go with the flow, Nick. Which I'm not the go with the flow person. I don't take orders. 6 weeks ago, like I said, you never thought these people would have been arrested. What's 6 weeks from now going to bring us? And are you willing to deal with what that's going to bring us? They're asking you to stay in your homes now, supposedly, but they're also arresting people for not being in their homes. I don't even know what to say. We're going to stand up, and we're all going to hang separately.